When Karen left, it was a Tuesday morning, the kind that begins quietly but ends with your life in pieces. She told me she needed more, that she was suffocating in our small-town routine. I was working 2 jobs, balancing bills and kids, while she claimed she'd found clarity with a man named Stephen, her co-worker from the dental clinic. She walked out on me and our 3 children without so much as a backward glance. No goodbyes, just an empty closet and a letter that blamed me for her unhappiness. For a while I couldn't breathe. Then I realized I had no choice but to keep going. For the kids, if not for myself. Raising 3 kids alone wasn't a heroic story. It was survival. Emily was 10, Liam 8, and little Grace barely 4 when their mother disappeared from their world. The questions they asked in the beginning were the hardest. Did Mommy leave because we were bad? No, sweetheart. I lied more times than I could count, telling them their mom loved them even when I wasn't sure if she'd ever cared. Over the years, we found rhythm in the chaos. I learned to braid hair, pack lunches, and show up to every parent-teacher conference alone. Karen never called, never wrote. It was like she had vanished with a different identity, leaving her old life as collateral damage. 21 years passed. Grace had a child of her own now, and I was a proud grandfather. We'd built something strong and unbreakable. My children were my best friends, and we all agreed. Karen was a chapter better left unread. Then one rainy evening, while I was sipping coffee on the porch and watching the storm roll in, there was a knock at the door. I opened it and nearly dropped my mug. There she stood, older, thinner, with hollow eyes and trembling hands. Karen. No call, no warning. Just her standing there, like a ghost begging to be remembered. I didn't say a word. Neither did she. Her eyes darted to the house behind me, and I knew she wanted to see them. Her children, now grown. But memories surged like tidal waves, and I couldn't let her walk in like nothing had happened. Why now? I asked coldly. She flinched. Because I have nothing left, she whispered. Stephen passed away last year. He cut me off financially before he died. I lost everything. I stared at her, stunned. She wasn't there for love. She was there because she had no one else. 21 years gone, and now she was knocking only because her safety net was gone. I invited her inside not because I forgave her, but because our grown kids deserved to make their own decisions. Grace was the first to walk in, holding her son, who curiously looked at the woman on the couch. Emily and Liam followed, confusion thick in the air. Karen stood, tears falling, and tried to speak. I'm your mother. The silence that followed was brutal. Liam scoffed and walked out. Emily stared at her with a face carved in stone. Grace only shook her head. You were, she said softly, but we did just fine without you. Karen's lips trembled, realizing the hole she left had closed long ago. Dinner that night was cold, emotionally and literally. Karen tried to smile, offering stories from her past 2 decades, but none of us cared. We had stories too, ones she wasn't in. She asked about birthdays, graduations, weddings, none of which she had attended. Her regret was obvious, but too late to matter. I had moved on emotionally years ago, even if I never remarried. Karen had chosen her path, and now she wanted to return to a road she'd abandoned. Life doesn't work like that, not when you leave your children crying on the doorstep. Later that evening, I found her sitting outside on the porch swing, just like she used to. She looked at me, eyes red. I thought they'd be happy to see me, she said. I didn't reply. She needed to feel it, the weight of 2 decades of absence. Can I stay for a while, she asked. I stared out at the darkness. You can stay in the guest cabin, I said finally, but don't expect anything else. Not from them. Not from me. She nodded, wiping her face. She understood. She wasn't part of this family anymore. She was a visitor in a life she once chose to leave. Weeks passed. Karen stayed in the cabin, occasionally trying to connect, but the warmth never returned. Emily didn't visit. Liam kept his distance. Grace, with her gentle heart, brought meals but nothing more. Karen began to understand. She hadn't just left her family all those years ago. She had erased herself from their story, and while she hoped for redemption, The truth was simple and unforgiving. Some doors once closed never opened the same way again. Her knock came 21 years too late, and though we answered, we had all moved on without her.